Trench pilgrims. As war rages against the minions of hell, strange visions torment the faithful around the world. Men and women touched by heaven receive visions, and messengers of God make revelations. Sisters of the holy orders are marked with stigmata and take up the sword and cross as instructed by the angels. Those who have transgressed seek to atone for their sins by taking with them into the afterlife as many of the devil's followers as they can. So come the mad and the maimed, the God-touched and the guilt-ridden, all gathering around the prophets and prophetesses, forming trench pilgrim processions, disorganized groups that arm themselves and follow the Lord's prophets to the front lines. They fight with unparalleled zeal, charging at heretics and arming themselves with everything they can get their hands on, from the oldest muskets to whips and Molotov cocktails. Pilgrims are not officially sanctioned by the Holy See, but the Church blesses the Crusades of the faithful. As such, processions of pilgrims are a common sight on battlefields, often charging across no man's land in suicidal attacks on heretics, directed by the visions of the prophets and prophetesses who lead them, and urged on by the whips of the punishers, charged with instilling the fear of God in their troops. Most pilgrims are men and women with little military training, but when they don the iron hood of a trench pilgrim, they can face even a demon from the deepest bulges of hell without flinching. Death is not necessarily the end of their mission. Sometimes the seventh Metachrist will deem a fallen pilgrim worthy and bring them back as a martyr penitent, warriors halfway between heaven and earth, able to fight once more and feel no pain from bullets or bayonet stabs. Rarer and more dangerous are the stigmatized nuns, holy sisters who manifest wounds matching those of the third Metachrist whom the nuns venerate. They excel in hand-to-hand combat, for each bleeding wound they suffer makes them stronger, not weaker, as their devotion to suffering as their Lord once did gives them a strength and resilience not found in ordinary mere mortals. Armed with swords and guns, they cross no man's land without concern for any danger, praying to receive wounds for the Redeemer who will in turn transform them into the Lord's own vengeance. Ecclesiastical prisoners are led to the pilgrim trench, captured enemies of the true faith forced to perform a final act of contrition, or willing sinners seeking redemption. Each is strapped with high-powered explosives that detonate once they reach enemy lines. They run through the killing fields in the hope of miraculously surviving the blast and escaping, or taking as many of Lucifer's followers with them as they can, depending on their convictions. The most powerful of the pilgrim processions will be accompanied by an anchorite of the shrine, a metal colossus some 12 feet tall, a living altar of war almost completely immune to any harm. The anchorite's interior is covered in spikes and barbed hooks so that the monk controlling this colossus is in a constant state of torment, rejoicing in the pain so that he may suffer as his Lord once did. In combat they wield adamantine Catherine wheels of massive proportions which they use to crush sinners and heretics to a pulp, then skew them on the wheel as a warning to others. There is a bewildering number and variety of trench pilgrim processions. Penitents of pious vengeance swear in the name of Saint Olga and use flamethrowers, incendiary grenades and incendiary ammunition to attack heretics. Iron Road pilgrims follow Saint Rita of Cassia and go into battle with hammers, maces, clubs and cudgels, driving nails into their heads in memory of the saint they venerate. Rome's Theban Legion carries the heads of heretics on their banners in memory of their patron, Saint Maurice. They fight with swords and other edged weapons, competing with each other for the number of heretic heads they amass. The trench pilgrims of the procession of the Holy Affliction are known for their love of hand-to-hand combat, their armor decorated with icons and shields adorned with depictions of saints, which despite appearances can withstand machine gun bullets, and the millstones they carry to tie around the necks of sinners before suffocating them in the mud and blood of no man's land. The heavens will darken, the earth will open, and the cries of the damned will resound through the centuries. Novi Revelations 99 hours 24 minutes.